Hey, you race fans, and welcome to a special installment of the Announcers Booth podcast here, presented by Rapid Graphics. Today on the show, Bobby Lincoln and Ryan Kumpf from US 30 Speedway in Columbus, Nebraska are on the show to talk about what's happening at US 30 this year, and Ryan also talks about the Tanner Pelster Memorial happening at the Boone County Raceway in Albion, Nebraska in July. Also on the show, Frank Grave is here to talk about what's happening at Husets Speedway on Father's Day and the special bonuses that they have there as well. Also, the foreign salvage question of the day. All this and more coming up next on the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. Happy Friday to you, race fans. How is everybody doing? It's been a couple of weeks. I'll say that. It's been a couple of weeks since our last episode. I apologize for that. I've been busy. Scotty Too Hotty here with episode 15 of the Announcer Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And my schedule has just been busy. Announcing at 4 racetracks and filling in for a few other shows as well. And just trying to get everyday life done as well on top of that. So I apologize for the absence for the past 2 weeks, but we are here with episode 15. And with that being said, this will be the last episode you will hear until the off season. Found out the hard way. I just cannot juggle 4 racetracks and a podcast and then everyday life all together. So this will be the last episode until the off season. So we are ending it with a special episode for season 1 of the Announcer Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. Great show today. We have Bobby Lincoln, the owner and promoter over at the US 30 Speedway in Columbus, Nebraska. He is on the show with Ryan Kumpf, joined interview together. Ryan, one of the announcers at US 30 Speedway. They're going to talk about some things that are coming up here this year and talk about what US 30 has been doing in the off season and how great the racing has been. And as well as Ryan announces at the Boone County Raceway over in Albion, Nebraska, they have a special memorial race coming up for the Tanner Pelster Memorial. Ryan will talk more about that and just how many people's lives were touched by Tanner Pelster. Unfortunately, we lost Tanner in a accident last season, and he is greatly missed by his friends and fellow competitors in the not only just the stock car class, but through all classes of racing out there in Nebraska. And this very special race, so stay tuned for that. And if you're in the area, go to the Tanner Pelster Memorial. It's going to be a big night in remembrance of Tanner, and you are not going to want to miss out on that. Also on the show here today, Frank Grave out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. For those of you that do not know Frank, he is a friend to all. He's such an awesome guy. He runs the Slick Track Nationals over at Thunder Road in Sioux Falls there. They take the go-karts out on the slick track. He gets a bunch of sponsors together for some cash prizes, some giveaways and whatnot. He's also run the back gate at Husets Speedway as well. Something that his father used to do until his father was tragically killed in an accident there one night. Frank will talk about that a little bit more, and it happened on Father's Day. So for this Father's Day, in remembrance of his father, Frank and a few business sponsors have teamed up to pitch in some bonus money here on Father's Day as they start the Husets Showdown on June 20th. Just in a couple weeks here. So tune in to that one as well. You're not going to want to miss out on Husets for the Showdown. Husets on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday they have off. Then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Jackson Motoplex, and then back to Husets on Sunday, and also featuring the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars as well. So you are not going to want to miss out on that. It is going to be awesome. Past 2 weeks, racing has been great. Wagner Speedway has had some great racing there as well. One of the tracks I announced that on Friday nights, I-90, we've had, I don't know if it's been record car counts at I-90, but opening night, We had about 150 cars, and we've had a little over 100 the past few weeks there. Great racing there as well. Rapid Speedway had the US MTS, a lot of car count for that as well over these past 2 weeks. The racing's just been great everywhere. The new Raceway Park has put on some good shows as well. The Good Old Time Racing Association was in Wagner, South Dakota, and put on a great show. They were also at the new Raceway Park, and those guys always put on a great show everywhere they go. And it's just so good to see. The Ben Nordiff Memorial happened on Memorial Day over at the Husets Speedway, and Tad Pospisil taking home the feature win in the late models, and then the 410 sprint cars were there as well, and Parker Price Miller took home the feature win in the 410 Outlaw sprint cars. In that, the racing has been great this year. We finally got some rain this morning, which Lord knows, we needed the rain, and we hate to see rain on race days, but we got some rain, and the crops are finally getting the moisture that they needed. So, yes, life is good here in the Midwest. A lot of great stuff happening tonight. Rapid Speedway runs tonight. Wagner Speedway runs tonight as well. Murray County Speedway up in Slayton, they're running tonight. Crawford County Speedway in Denison, they have a show tonight as well. So a lot of tracks in the Friday night realm under the Friday night lights running tonight. Tomorrow, I-90 Speedway, they have a show as well. You can catch myself and Sean Neested there making the call. Sean up in the booth, myself down in the infield doing some pit reporting. Also Saturday, Miller Speedway in Miller, South Dakota is having the Tri-State Late Models, repairablevehicle.com, Tri-State Late Models, I should say. So be sure to hit up that show if you were in that area. Sunday, it is the Sunday Church in the Dirt, South Dakota style over at the new Raceway Park, having a great show put on. And then the Autism Awareness Night for the new Raceway Park is June 20th, Father's Day as well. They have silent auction stuff. 50-50, as well as candy toss for the kids, bike giveaways, a lot of stuff going on. Also, a surprise will be there. If you're tuning into this episode here, you'll be the first to hear it here. Jerry Van Sickle, basically like one of the voices of the IMCA racing sanction. He does Marshalltown. He does Boone. He's gone down to Texas for a couple tours. He's done down in Kansas. And he is, if you don't know the name, why wouldn't you know the name? Jerry Van Sickle, one of my mentors in announcing, as well as Sean Neested. Jerry will be at the new Raceway Park having the call with myself and my co-announcer PJ Pedersen for the Autism Awareness Night, and all proceeds benefiting the Peer Center for Autism in Sioux City, Iowa. So if you can, come on down. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great having Jerry there, and all for a good cause as well on Father's Day. So June 20th. So come on down to the new Raceway Park if you are in the area, and just for a great night of racing for a good cause. We are going to take a quick break, and we are going to hear from one of our advertisers in Fort Orange Salvage. And just on the other side of the break, it will be the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day. Stay tuned.
Evicted tenants leave a mess behind? Have an old appliance that you're tired of staring at? Yard waste, branches, carpet, old furniture, other discarded items you just want gone? Well, Fort Orange Salvage can take it all away. Call Jamie at 605-376-8532 for a quote today, or you can find him on Facebook by searching Fort Orange Salvage-Junk Haulers. Contractless payment through Venmo or PayPal is also available. Quick, easy, and affordable junk hauling. Fort Orange Salvage. We pick things up and we take them away. Serving Sioux Falls, South Dakota and surrounding areas.
And we're back with the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics, and a big thank you to Fort Orange Salvage and to Jamie there. He is one of the best in the business when it comes to junk hauling, and like the ad said, if you need something picked up and taken away, give Jamie a call. Free estimates as well. And Jamie's just a great guy all around who supports racing. You'll find him in the pits helping out if need be, and he sponsors quite a few race cars actually as well within the tri-state area. So yes, if you need something picked up and taken away, Jamie is the guy to call. And he brings us the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day, which the question was released a few weeks ago. Like I said, I apologize for the 2-week absence. We've just been really busy. Courtney and I have too. So we were getting to the question: which was, what is a piece of advice that you would give someone who's just starting out in racing? And I got to say, a lot of great answers through Facebook and TikTok, as well as Instagram as well. And we're going to start here with Justin Addison here on Facebook. Justin's advice was, start at the rear of the field for a while. You'll learn the car and car control without tearing yourself up and others, and without costing yourself a lot of money. Plus, you will get better at car control, and you can focus on playing offense instead of constantly on the defensive. With faster cars trying to pass you, and I'm not only talking this for 2 nights, do this for about half the season at least, and you'll be way better in the long run. Justin, I got to agree with you. When I was racing, I started in the rear right when I first started out, just to get the feel for the car and just for track conditions as well, because you really don't know what to expect when you hit the track, especially when you're a rookie and you're just starting out. So very, very good piece of advice there from Justin Addison, driver of the 26J stock car out of Nebraska. Sean says, find someone who has experience in racing and is willing to help you get started. Also, don't plan on winning an A feature in your rookie season. Just try your best. And he's absolutely right. I do know of a few people that did win a race in their rookie season, but it was totally unexpected. And they said it was the last thing they ever expected. But, hard work and, just it pays off. And just like he said, find that someone who is experienced, and if they're willing to help you out, bring them on board. Levi Vanderwatt, he says, do not give up. If you aren't setting the racing world on fire right out the gate. My first year, I couldn't make it half a lap without spinning out and rarely even made a feature race. Find the right setup in your car, and gaining experience behind the wheel takes time, but it makes that first win so much sweeter. And I remember watching Levi his first few nights out, and he was fast on the straightaways. Very, very fast on the straightaways, and coming into the corner, he would loop that 6V car is what he started with, and I'd always like, Levi, you might need to tighten up the car a little bit there, buddy. A little loose on entrance and way loose on exit. But no, Levi, definitely some experience with his dad running street stocks back in the day there, as well as he's had some help from Dustin Galbronson, Tracy Haluska, and Dylan Fitzpatrick, and all those guys, really good friends, racing at Rapid Speedway and I-90 Speedway weekly. And Levi's first win at Rapid Speedway was one that I don't think anyone will forget, and he has had a few feature wins since then, as well as winning opening night at I-90 Speedway this year. Holding off Dustin Galbronson, the 6 car, which is not an easy thing to do, by the way. So Levi getting his first win that night on opening night. So great piece of advice from Levi. Jared says, race your own race. Don't worry about nothing and just have fun. Absolutely. That should be the number one rule in racing, is have fun. And like Jackson Mulder said, on a few episodes ago, if you're not having fun, then you shouldn't be doing it. That is the number one rule in racing. Colby Clausen says, you can't learn how to race and adjust your race car by racing only once a week. That is true. That is true. Now, if you're on a low budget and you can only afford to race once a week and you're racing just the same track, then I could see that where, yes, you learn something new every week on the car and learn how to set it up. But then again, that's where it would go into, like Sean said, just find someone who's, maybe race that track and talk to them, see what advice they would have and be able to give you for, learning that track. Bobby Lincoln, you'll hear from him later on the show, and this is a great comment, and he's absolutely 100% right with this, but Bobby Lincoln out of Columbus, Nebraska says, gas pedal is on the right, and so is the wall. And I will say, guys and gals, the closer that wall is, the less it hurts when you try to knock it down. So that is 100% true from Bobby Lincoln here. Moving over to TikTok here. Cameron says, well, can somebody tell me, because I'm going to start racing soon when I get into kart running. So Cameron going to be starting in the go-kart world here soon. Evan says, as I was told, and I tell everybody, don't lift and don't Don't lift and don't brake if you hit the wall. So yes, you might want to lift a little bit going into the corner. Some tracks, if it's set up right, maybe you don't have to, but yes. Throw it in there and hope it sticks. Rest in peace, Doc Hudson. A lot of great guys here. Let me see here. Bobby says, just go and have fun. Absolutely. A couple comments saying that as well. And Spencer says, if you don't feel confident, about where you're starting, drop to the back and learn from the drivers in front of you. Absolutely. And that's one thing, when you're racing is, if you're watching the guy in front of you, watch where you're going to, but watch what he's doing. And, that'll help you learn too. Maybe, go talk to him after and, hey, I see you were running good. What would be like a basic setup that I could start at and then adjust from there? It never hurts to go talk to a fellow competitor or someone who used to race in that class or is retired from racing. And, what would be the basic starting point here for me? And then we just go from there. So, yeah, it's a great piece of advice. And a big thank you again to Jamie for doing the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day here for Season 1 of the Announcer Booth Podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. Jamie, I cannot thank you enough. We hope to bring you back on board next season here. So that will do it for the final Fort Orange Salvage question of the day here for Season 1 of the Announcer Booth Podcast. We are going to take a break and hear from the title advertiser in Rapid Graphics. And right after that, we will hear from Bobby Lincoln as well as Ryan Kumpf about what's happening at US 30 and Boone County Raceway right after this.
Rapid Graphics, located in Rock Rapids, Iowa, on the corner of Highway 9 and 75, specialize in graphics and signage of all types. They specialize in indoor and outdoor signage, banners, commercial vehicles, custom logos, race car graphics, and much, much more. Rapid Graphics have the tools to get your job done, and you can find them easily on Facebook at Rapid Graphics 12. For more information, contact Rapid Graphics for all of your custom graphic and signage needs today.
And welcome back to the Announcer Booth Podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And yes, Blake is, this guy is a wizard, I would say, with graphics. He started out of his basement and then into his garage. And then the space he has now is perfect for it. And this guy really knows what he's doing with graphics. So if you need anything from, graphic design to stickers, decals, wraps for your race car or truck or whatever, canvas prints, Blake can do it. So be sure to get a hold of him, Rapid Graphics 12 on Facebook. That'd be facebook.com/rapidgraphics12. For more information there, contact him and to check out all the great designs that he has done. So now we're going to hear from two guys out of Nebraska. This will be Bobby Lincoln, owner and promoter over at US 30 Speedway in Columbus, Nebraska, as well as one of the announcers over there, Ryan Kumpf, coming on board just last season over at US 30 when our good friend Jimmy Scott retired from announcing. And Ryan stepped up and filled the place there. And Ryan talks about what's coming up at the Boone County Raceway as well out there in Albion, Nebraska, with the Tanner Pelston Memorial happening in July. So he'll talk more about that. Bobby will talk about how the track got started. And this is just a really great interview. Also, on a side note, the reason why this interview is on episode 15, Bobby's dad, Abe Lincoln, he was the one that built US 30, and Abe used to race as well, and his car number was 15. So Bobby requested that for his interview, it'd be on episode 15 in remembrance of his dad. So without further ado, here is episode 15's interview with Bobby Lincoln and Ryan Kumpf. So making their way to the announce booth now is two guys out of the Nebraska racing scene. And these guys are quite busy and have had a lot of excitement so far at the racetrack. Bobby Lincoln, owner and promoter of US 30 Speedway in Columbus, Nebraska, and Ryan Kumpf, one of the voices over there at US 30, as well as the voice of the Boone County Raceway in Albion, Nebraska, and voice at McCool as well. Is that right, Ryan? You're doing McCool this year too?
Yep, first year as doing Junction Motor Speedway on a weekly basis over at McCool Junction. So we're getting around quite a bit this year.
And Bobby, I know you've been busy at US 30 as well, and well, both of you have been busy at US 30. What is going on here in 2021 out in Nebraska, and what can people expect, especially on Thursday nights for Thursday Night Thunder at US 30?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say hi to you and all your fans out there and whatnot. We did some reworking of the track over the winter. We tore the whole track out and put in progressive banking. It's supposed to make the track, wider, more usable and whatnot. And we have seen 4 and 5 wide racing like you have never seen this year.
And 4 and 5 wide racing is something that's not new to US 30. We've seen it in the past, with hobby stocks. You guys are on the sport mods, the stock cars, and then switching off with late models and modifieds. I myself was fortunate to race there back in 2019 and just could not believe how incredible that track is. With all the adjustments that you've made out there, Ryan, just how cool is it to be part of this racetrack to call some great action every Thursday night?
Well, it's awesome. Bobby and the Lincoln family do such a great job out there on Thursday nights. I've always been a big fan of what Bobby's been doing since he took over a few years ago, just following in his dad, Abe's footsteps. And it's amazing. If you were to go to race at US 30 Speedway about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and then go out there and race now, just walking up to the place, it just looks completely different. The amount of changes he's started to make out there the last few years with facility improvements, especially the speedway, the track itself. A few weeks ago, we were talking before we came on here, just the amount of great racing we saw in just one night of racing. That's the most highlights I've seen at that track in years. And that's a testament to Bobby and his whole family, what they're doing out there.
Bobby, just taking over this track a few years ago, like Ryan said, how much has the racetrack changed since when it was first built by your dad, Abe, to where it is today, and how has the racing progressed in that time as well?
Well, the racing has progressed. When we first opened, we built the track the summer of 1984 and half of 1985. And we raced a little in the fall of 85. Back then there were 2 classes of cars. You'd get 30, 40 cars a night, and whatnot. But now we have, 19, that's our 19th year on Thursday nights. And, the crowd is always there. We have great car counts. We get, 70s and 80s with 4 classes, and it's like I said, 4 and 5 wide, and it's just totally a different ball game these last couple of years.
What are some of the other changes that have been added to the track this year? I know in years past it was sweeping corners and whatnot, and then you've added the progressive banking to it. Also putting up a new scoreboard within the past year. What other changes have been made to US 30 to better accommodate the racers and the crowd?
We put in all new concrete wall all the way around now, so there's no more guardrail. A whole new speaker system, PA system, however you want to call it, PA system in the pit area. We brought Ryan on. That's probably our biggest thing we've done.
Yeah, nice try.
Ryan, with coming on to the announce team here, Jimmy Scott has been one of the voices over at US 30 for years, and then going into retirement. Well, we should say semi-retirement, not fully quite retired yet. What has it been like then sharing the booth with Anthony Ainsley on Thursdays, and like you said, just getting to call some great racing action, like we said before we came on here, bringing a little bit of lightning to Thursday Night Thunder?
Well, really, I got to actually tip my hat to Jim Scott for even kickstarting my career. Back in 2013, Boone County Raceway went under new management, and they brought Jim on to announce there. Well, I kind of expressed my interest in maybe getting into that just from me being in the radio business in the Columbus area. And I just kind of was something I always wanted to try. Well, he was good enough to reach out to me and say, hey, why don't you come up to Albion and just start working with me up there? And it's been history ever since. So, I mean, he's the guy who taught me how to kind of do what I'm doing now. And he's really the main reason why I'm in the sport to begin with from an announcer's perspective. And then, you know, I was kind of honored when Bobby and Jimmy and them asked me to come on last year after Jimmy retired after, what was it, 30 years, over 30 years of announcing at Columbus. So it's big shoes to fill to come into him. And then, you know, it's just kind of seamless going with Anthony because, you know, Anthony, he can talk you off for hours just because he has so much knowledge about the sport, and it makes my life really easy because he's one of those guys that you can go instantly into the booth and just start having a conversation about racing because he's like everyone else out there. He's the biggest fan of the racing community and those drivers out there, and he shows it through his announcing abilities. And you know, it's great to just be out there and work with a team like that.
And Bobby, what does it mean for you to have two great voices in that booth every Thursday night? And what has been the fans' reaction to having those guys in the booth?
Well, the fans' reaction has been absolutely, they love them. And, yeah, I don't want to sit here and toot my own horn, but those two are probably two of the greatest together. They can feed off each other. You know, we can leave them a list of, you know, hey, we need to push this sponsor. We need to, you know, make sure we take care of this. And it's always taken care of. You ain't got to babysit them. And, you know, you hear a lot of the fans in the stands, you know, that had a great time. And, you know, man, those announcers are good. They're knowledgeable. They're funny. It's just, you know, I miss Jimmy, don't get me wrong, because, you know, Jimmy was a staple there for over 30 years.
Right.
But having Ryan and Anthony is a wonderful replacement.
Absolutely. And just as an announcer myself, Ryan, both you and Anthony, I've gotten to know over the past few years. And definitely, I've seen you guys work in action. Definitely one of the best announcer crews out there, especially out in Nebraska. Something else I wanted to touch on here is you guys have got a busy week coming up here in August, I believe. With the Dirt Crown Summer Speed Weeks, was supposed to be the Dirt Crown Tour, 4 days, 4 racetracks, and just a lot of contingency prizes. Unfortunately, Mother Nature won here in 2021, but being moved to August 28th through September 2nd. What is this going to be like? And I know this tour going to be ending at US 30. So what does it mean for you, Ryan, to be a part of this tour? And then follow-up question to Bobby, what does it mean to have US 30 being on the map for this tour as well?
Well, first of all, I've always kind of told people that I personally think that Northeast Nebraska dirt track racing just isn't out there enough. I think a lot of people maybe overlook this portion of the country when it comes to dirt track racing, but the talent that comes from this area is staggering. You go over to Boone Super Nationals, and I'm telling you, some of the best hobby stock racing comes at US 30 Speedway and Boone County Raceway on a weekly circuit. Those guys go over to the Super Nationals, and we have 3-4 guys qualifying in the top 10 of the feature for Super Nationals almost every year, it seems. And I think it's just the best kept secret in dirt track racing, just because we haven't maybe had the exposure of like the different streaming companies that go over into the state of Iowa and other states. But I think this is a great opportunity to showcase some of the great racing that's in the state of Nebraska. And it's a wide variety of racetrack to go from a big 4/10 mile from I-80 to the next night, which maybe surprises a lot of people, is just a little bull ring at Jefferson County Speedway. And they're kind of starting to make a name for themselves in the midget ranks. So I know Thayer County Speedway is a track that a long time ago was a very popular place. It's cool that a place like that is starting to get back going again the last few years. And then I know in Albion, we're super excited to have this opportunity to get some new faces there. And then the fact that the tour is going to wrap up in Columbus, the championship night, to decide the points fund champions at US 30 Speedway. It's going to be a must-see Thursday night. And the really cool thing is that leads right into your weekend of Boone Super Nationals the very next week.
What does that mean for you, Bobby, just having this tour, which I just want to touch on this, modifieds $1,500 to win each night, stock cars $1,250 to win each night. Same with the sport mods and the hobby stock, $750 to win each night. What does that mean to have this great tour wrap up its championship at US 30?
Well, it's really an honor. Scott and his crew with the Dirt Crown, him and Scott and Robbie are just excellent guys to work with. We've been in a lot of meetings over this and whatnot. I really see it to be something you're absolutely not going to want to miss. And I love the fact that they've added Albion. I mean, over the last couple of years, Delmer Pelster and I have become really good friends. We try to help each other out the best we can. And, that week it'll be just the same, but it'll be the opposite. We'll be going to his track before we come to our track.
And you mentioned Albion and Boone County Raceway, and Ryan, you being the voice of the under the Friday Night Lights over there. What has the racing been like there for 2021 as well as in past years as well?
Well, just this year, we're actually just getting kicked off. We decided to start a little later in the year just to kind of keep away from battling the weather and different situations like that. So we actually just kicked off our season on May the 7th. We're having autograph night this Friday night for the kids, which is going to be a big night. But then, the racing the last few years, Boone County Raceway has always been near and dear to my heart because it's been, I consider it my home track because that's where every single Friday my parents took me and my brothers to the races every single Friday. We never missed a night. And the last few years, I guess early in my announcing career, we had a little bit of turnover at the promoter position. But the last 4 or 5 years, we had a race committee come in of a number of very knowledgeable, very hardworking individuals that work their tail off every week, and a lot of them volunteer a lot of time, just like Bobby does. It's a very thankless job being a promoter of a speedway that a lot of people don't realize some of the stuff you have to deal with. And the racing there has been fantastic, and just like I was saying earlier, the Dirt Crown is going to be such a great opportunity to showcase a track that maybe doesn't get to be seen near as much as maybe some others around the country. And we got a lot of big nights this year.
And one of those nights, unfortunately, coming from a sad moment within this past year, one of the Nebraska drivers, Tanner Pelster, driver of the 11T stock car, was unfortunately passed away from an accident, and who was very influential in the Nebraska dirt scene. What is going on with the Tanner Pelster Memorial, and how does that affect each track with Albion and US 30 and all the surrounding tracks as well?
Well, Tanner was one of those guys. Every time you would talk to him, he'd leave an impact on you. I don't think there was ever a moment I've ever heard of anyone, having a bad thing to say about Tanner. One of the coolest stories I've remember from this past year, just is after he passed, everyone just flipping around stories of Tanner and stuff. And he was such a nice guy. And when he's one of those drivers where it wasn't about the winning or anything. It's about being with family. The Pelster family is one of the nicest families you'll ever meet, from Delmer to Dee, his wife, Randy, his uncle, who they've all been synonymous in Northeast Nebraska and racing for a number of years. But, one of the stories that I always hear from actually our committee member who hands out the checks every night is he never, after the race, has seen Tanner come up and take a check. It just wasn't important to him. He wanted to be there, race, compete against some of the best out there. And he had a smile on his face every time you see him. And I'm sure Bobby can attest to it that he's going to be definitely missed. And he's one of those guys you're never going to be able to replace at the racetrack.
You're absolutely correct there. Tanner was one of a kind. He, my daughter races, and, we pitted beside them when up in Albion. And he always had a smile. He could light up the darkest night with his smile. And one of the things we're going to do this year is US 30 Speedway is going to put up money also on his. We're going to put $111 for each of the top 5 that run at Albion weekly.
And there's a big memorial race coming up too at Albion. Ryan, can you give us some more insight on what is going to be happening at Boone County Raceway for this memorial for Tanner?
Yeah, so this is actually going to be a part of our Sunday fair special. It's always our biggest race of the year. We're going to have the Malvern Bank Super Late Model Series, so it'd be the West Series, and they're going to be competing for $3,111 to win. This would be the biggest winnings we've ever offered to the Malvern Bank Super Late Models. We average 35 to 40 Super Late Models every year. We have them the past few years, so they put on such a fantastic show. The hobby stocks are also going to be on the card. $511 to win in the hobby stocks. And then, the super late models are always, most time the main draw, but I think this, stock car feature is maybe going to be the one you're going to stay to watch, to be the most excited for, because, the stock car is going to start, it's going to be $211 to start, $111 for tow money. We're trying to get as many cars here as possible, and it's going to be $1,111 to win. And the purse is a spectacular purse. It's posted on our Facebook page. If you want to go in, if you're a stock car driver from around the area, go and check that out. I don't think we could get it any better than that. And the reason why, number one, is the donations from people who knew Tanner, just like Bobby was saying, even the tracks coming together to help this race be, Bobby was good enough to donate money. We've had so many individuals come up and say, hey, I want to be a part of this event, and we're going to have a list of that coming out. We'll be thanking throughout the night, but that's just not going to be a night you're going to want to miss, and we'll be having ticket information about that coming out here shortly. It'll be for IMCA National Points. It'll be a redraw night, and it's going to be a great night.
And like you said, Tanner, very influential in the Nebraska dirt racing scene, and he will definitely be missed, and going to miss seeing the 11T car out there as well. Bobby, going back to US 30, you guys have a great event that happens each and every year. I was fortunate to be a part of it in 2019. I believe a record breaker in 2019 as well for car count. What is happening with the Abe Lincoln Memorial? I know you have something special planned on night number 2 in relation to what happened at intermission last year on the Saturday show. So what is happening with the Abe Lincoln Memorial, and what can we expect come in September?
Well, we're doing something like you said. We last year on the Saturday night, I re-proposed to my wife. We were married 24. We've been married 24 years, and this year, ironically, the memorial race for my father, the 25th annual, falls on our 25th anniversary. So during intermission on Saturday night, we are going to get remarried, renew our vows, but we're going to give everybody a gift instead of you bringing us a gift. We have, oh man, I can't even think of who it is now. The Dylan Bloom Band. We're going to try to get the races done between that 9 and 10 o'clock. We're going to start a couple hours early on that Saturday night, and then Dylan is a family friend, and he's going to play for 3 hours. So it'll be a fun time, and like I said, it's a free concert. And it's just going to be a blast.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I found about the Abe Lincoln Memorial that I really liked is you had told me in 2019 when I first showed up at US 30, not knowing what this track was like, or any of you or your family and the staff, and not even having met you yet, Ryan, just the hospitality that you guys have. But the one thing that I thought was very cool was bringing the cars out for opening ceremonies both night, nose into the infield, pointed up to heaven, just in memory of your dad. How has that impacted you, especially coming into the 25th anniversary of this Abe Lincoln Memorial?
Well, the reason we started doing it was, and like I said, back in the day, there was 2 classes. When my father passed away in 1997, we only had stock or IMCA modifieds and street stock. And we were pulling 50 to 60 modified a night, and 20, 25 stock cars, street stocks. And he always said that his goal was to put 100 cars in the pits. He got 99 cars 3 different times. He never got his 100 cars.
Wow.
So on the first memorial, of course, we pulled the stops and we ended up, I think, with like 116 cars. And my mother looked at me and she says, "What do you think about parking them all the way around the track, pointing to the American flag so Dad can look down and see his 100 cars?" And I was like, absolutely. And that is why we do it.
A lot of us did not get the chance to meet your father, but from the stories that myself and I'm sure a lot of people have heard, was a wonderful man that just wanted to bring racing out to Nebraska, to the Columbus area. And all of us cannot thank him enough for building that track, and can't thank you enough for keeping Thursday Night Thunder going as well. And Ryan, for being one of the voices out there. You and Anthony absolutely just you are.
They knock it out.
Yes.
Yeah, they knock it out of the ballpark every Thursday night.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ryan, before we close out here, what are some other things that are happening at Albion as well this year, and what can we look forward to the Boone County Raceway?
We'll just go ahead through some stuff quick here. It seems like the tracks are always trying to make improvements for not only the fans, but also the drivers. I know we got a new tech area down at Boone County Raceway. The whole new pit area is completely reworked, so it's easier to get haulers in and out. We have brand new LED lighting all around the pit area. And then our big addition that we just announced this past week is a brand new VIP area and party area that you're going to be right up next to the front stretch. You're going to have the closest seat to the track in the house with a full bar at your disposal. And once again, you can find information on that on our Facebook page. Unfortunately, we have a lot of specials this year, which is great, but for unfortunate circumstances, we've got a few other memorial specials I'd like to just talk about for a second. Our first memorial special that we are going to be really getting going here is in just a few weeks on Friday, June 4th. It's the Doc Palmer Memorial. Doc was one of the main fans out here, probably the most diehard fan you could ever have at a racetrack. He passed away, and I believe I was told he was over like 102 years old this past year, and he passed away. But he was going to the races at Albion every single Friday up until his upper 90s. And he was always a big fan of all the classes, but he really took a liking to the late models. And his family was a long time sponsor of Mike Landauer, who was a big name back in the day in the 80s and 90s that raced at Albion and Columbus and Riviera up in Norfolk. But it's going to be $1,045 to win in the IMCA late models that night. Stock cars, sport mods, and hobby stocks will also have increased purse. And then another driver who passed away this past year tragically was Alan Rasmussen, and he's part of the Midwest Classic Stock Car Association that you see quite a bit throughout Nebraska, and I believe they're starting to stretch into South Dakota and Iowa a little bit. Unfortunately, he passed away as well, so we're going to have increased purse in the Midwest Classic Stock Cars and Good Old Time Racing Association that night. Increased purse in all 4 of our weekly classes, which are the IMCA late model stock cars, sport mods, and hobby stocks. And it's also going to be retro night. So it's just going to be a fun night to remember Alan and have everyone out and just kind of relive the old days. It'd be like a blast for the past type of thing. So, yeah, other than Tanner's race, that's, once again, one of the biggest races we want to get out to people is just to please come support that. The Pelster families, once again, going to be there, and I think they're expecting 75 to 100 family members that night that are going to come and honor Tanner. One other big race we do have is July 2nd. It's the Boone County Challenge. It's the first time we've ever had topless late models and sport mods, so that would be kind of a cool twist that night to kick off the 4th of July weekend. But other than that, we race at 8 o'clock Friday night, so you can check us out at BooneCountyRaceway.com.
And for Thursday Night Thunder at US 30, what time is the show starting there when lightning strikes for Thursday Night Thunder?
National Anthem is 7:55, green flag at 8. And we do everything we can to have you out of there right at 10.
So some great racing action going on in the Nebraska dirt track scene. And guys, it has been a pleasure talking with you. Cannot wait to see what the rest of the season brings for both you at both of these great racetracks. And just want to thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you.
Well, I wanted to say thanks, Scotty, and what you do for the sport, doing the podcast like this is fantastic. I know you're a busy man with your announcing duties too, but anything like this, like you're doing to help grow the sport, that's what the sport needs, is more people like you that are doing stuff like this.
Well, greatly appreciate it, guys. And once again, thank you for being on the show. And hopefully we will see you down the road in Nebraska very, very soon.
You're always welcome at our house.
So once again, Bobby, Lincoln, and Ryan Kumpf out in the Nebraska dirt track racing scene. Couple of great guys there. Just cannot thank them enough for being on the show. And if you're looking for something to do on a Thursday, head to Columbus. Great racing action there over in the Columbus area, as well as Albion on Friday nights for Boone County Raceway. Two great racetracks and some phenomenal racing. We're going to take another quick break here and hear from the Sodak iRacing series. And right on the other side of this break, we will talk with Frank Grave about his Husets journey, as well as what it's like been working the back gate and the bonuses coming up here on Father's Day that him and a few sponsoring partners have put together. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The Sodak iRacing League is the premier iRacing league for drivers, crew members, fans, and sponsors in the tri-state area around South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. From street stocks to super late models, modifieds to sprint cars, the Sodak iRacing League does them all. You can follow all of their seasons live and free on Advantage Racing TV. For more information, look for Sodak iRacing on Facebook or join the league by searching for Sodak under the Leagues tab on your iRacing account.
And welcome back to the Husets Speedway podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And yes, Sodak iRacing League's great league here, made up of the some local drivers in the tri-state area. I should say quad-state area, because there's a few Nebraska drivers out there as well. So, a lot of great drivers, a great league, and they always put on a great season. And it's filled with different classes too. So, still waiting on season 3 when it's going to be happening. But when it happens, we will let you know. And yes, go check them out on Facebook, Sodak iRacing Series. It's a great league, and Troy does a great job there. We will be talking with Frank Grave now about what his racing involvement has been with Husets Speedway, as well as a few other tracks, and what's happening this Father's Day that he is putting up some bonus money, as well with the help of some advertising partners as well, some sponsors. So without further ado, here is the interview with Frank Grave. So making his way up to the announce booth now is a guy that's been involved in racing for a lot of years. His dad got him involved, and his dad was a friend to all. And this guy is too, Frank Grave. If you've seen him at Husets Speedway, it's more than likely been at the back gates. And Frank, just thanks for coming on the show today, man. Greatly appreciated.
You bet, Scotty.
So, Frank, I know the history with racing and you goes way back. How did it all start for this, I guess, family tradition of racing, and where did it all begin for you?
Well, my dad, I pretty much grew up out at Husets and the Hartford Speedway out there, but my dad started out. My dad had polio, and so he had a hard time getting around and everything. But one thing he could do was hop up in a water truck and make a great racetrack, I guess. He was the maintenance person out at Husets for several years. He did the blading and the watering, and I was 11, 12 years old when I started going out there. I was earlier when I was sitting up in the stands, but when I could actually go out there and just hang out with him was those summers. And he actually took me out of school a couple of times to go out and paint white tires out on the infield there at Husets and paint the bleachers and stuff. So I've been around racing my whole life, along with my dad out there when he was around. So
And Husets is known as just a family track each and every Sunday, the Sunday tradition of having races there in sprint car racing as well. Is that what you grew up coming to love about the races, just the different classes and drivers that have run at that speedway?
Yeah, I mean, every week there was families. There was the Mack family from North Dakota would come down, and the Howells from North Dakota. They'd recognize me when they seen me, and they'd stop and talk, and so the Barbers and the Krugers, and my dad was a huge David Kruger fan. We actually towed his car up to Casino Speedway there a couple times when Husets rained out on a Sunday, and we ran up there a couple times with him, so that was quite memorable. And my dad did a lot of push truck driving over in Jackson Speedway and the former Lake County Speedway over by Madison. So when he wasn't doing the track maintenance.
So just growing up with this track and then helping your dad, paint the bleachers or the tires in the infield and just helping with the maintenance around the track. How did it come to be with you being a full-time staff member out there and then ultimately manning the back gate, which was also one of your dad's duties as well?
Well, this year, 34 years ago, my dad passed away on Father's Day out at Husets. He was struck by a car driven by Bill Rook. Bill was on the last lap of the 360 class, and his car his car just kind of went wild and just out of control, and he ended up shearing the top of the roll cage off of Bill's car when he went up in the air. And my dad just happened to be right behind the back gate. My dad was a security worker back there, and he always told the guys back at the back gate to watch out, but he was one that always had to stand up by the gate to watch the races and to kind of watch the people. And he always tried to make sure everybody else was safe, but it's unfortunate that he wasn't and he couldn't run away from this situation, but he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Bill Rook's car sheared the top of the roll cage off. Bill died instantly pretty much. And the car came down on top of my father and killed him out at Husets as well. It was Father's Day 34 years ago. So.
And just, it's never good when a tragedy happens at the track, and our condolences to you and your family, Frank. But with that also comes just a little bit of wanting to give back as well. And I know this Father's Day out at Husets Speedway, you guys have something planned that is going to take place. What is going on at Father's Day here at Husets here in 2021?
Well, I came up with this concept of I put some of my own money in, and I've got some help from Mark Fonder at the Barrel House, Mitch Runge at Red Rock Bar and Grill, and Steve Butterfield at the Alien Tattoo Company. We've decided we're going to put up some money, and these guys, along with myself, we're going to give out $200 to the Street Stock Hard Charger, whoever wins the Hard Charger Award that night. It'll be June 20th, Father's Day. We're going to give $300 to the 305 Hard Charger. And the reason I'm giving a little bit more to that class is because that was the class that, my dad, it's the class that's remembered, I guess, that, everything happened with. But, and then on the 410s, we're going to give out $100 to the Quick Time and $100 to the Hard Charger Award on the 410s.
So a lot of different things happening. Father's Day at Husets Speedway in remembrance of Dennis Graves. Frank, I know you've done a few things other with racing as well too. One thing that people might know you for as well would be the Slick Track Nationals that takes place at Thunder Road. I know you held your event this year already. How did that go for you, and what is this event like and all about?
Well, this year we had it before the races all started around in the area. We had, I think there was close to 60 people that showed up, but I had a lot of help out there this year, from Travis and Troy Schurz and Dylan and Logan Fitzpatrick and, just everybody that showed up. We had I'd say it was like a family reunion, but I used to be in charge of we used to have, weekly slick track, like a league out there at the slick track, and everybody that pretty much ran in that league showed up, and we just had a real good time and just socialized with everybody. And it was just there was a lot of people that showed up. Blaine Stenga and Dylan Meyer from their ATV guys, they ended up getting first and second in that event. So real good friends of mine, and we had a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, it's always a fun time had by all when it's, go-karts and slick track. It's just the right combination that goes together. Frank, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, man. It's greatly appreciated. And, yes, people, Father's Day, June 20th, head on down to Husets Speedway in Brandon, South Dakota. They produce a great weekly show, and with a little bit of bonus money going up for Hard Charger as well as QuickTime and Hard Charger in the 410s as well. So be sure to head on down to Husets Speedway, not just June 20th, but every Sunday night as well, for some great dirt racing action from the legendary Husets Speedway. Frank, thanks once again for coming on the show, man. Wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors, and we hope to see you at the track very soon.
Thanks, Scotty. I appreciate everything you do for racing, and hope to see everybody out there. Either show up or else just watch it on Dirt Vision. That's the weekly pay-per-view, as you would call it, I guess, way to watch it on TV.
So if you can't make it to the track, be sure to tune in to dirtvision.com and get your Husets fix. Thank you again, Frank, and we will see you on later down the road.
Thanks a lot, Scotty.
So once again, Frank Grave out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota there, and a friend to all. Frank is just an all-around great guy, and love what he's doing at Husets this Father's Day. So if you're in the area and looking for a track to go to Husets on Father's Day and just to watch some great sprint car racing. You will not regret it. And also for the bonuses that he is putting up along with all those other businesses as well. Frank, you are the reason that we do this. It's great to see a great race fan have a passion like you do. Please don't ever stop. We're going to take another quick break here and hear from Advantage Racing TV and AOK Photography and Design. And just on the other side of the break, you'll hear about upcoming events, what's happening in the next few weeks. And we will sign off for the final time here for season number 1 for the Announcer's Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. But first, we'll hear from Advantage Racing TV and AOK Photography.
Advantage Racing TV is your source for local entertainment in the tri-state area. From compacts to late models and sprint cars, Advantage Racing TV has just what you need to cure your racing ailments. Check them out online at www.advantageracing.tv and take advantage of your racing addiction.
AOK Photography and Design is the place for all your photo needs. AOK does racing hero cards, blankets, canvas, racing sponsor photos, as well as other personalized items. Located out of Montevideo, Minnesota, they can get what you need at an affordable price. Check them out on Facebook for more information, and you'll find that their guaranteed service is A-OK.
And welcome back to the Announcer Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics and Advantage Racing TV. They've got a lot of stuff going on this year, as well as doing some shows for IMCA TV as well. And yes, check out AdvantageRacing.tv for all of their upcoming events, as well as check out their subscription list. And for the on-demand list as well, you have complete access to their full library as well. So go check that out online at www.advantageracing.tv. Also, for AOK Photography and Design, Alex is great at what he does. He takes photos and travels around to, different tracks. He does hero cards and everything like you heard in the ad read there. So hit him up in the Montevideo, Minnesota area if you need anything done. And yes, Alex has been down here a few times actually to the new Raceway Park, and he does some awesome work. So thank you to you both, for Advantage Racing TV and AOK Photography and Design, for supporting us this year as well as the Sodak iRacing Series and Rapid Graphics and 4 Orange Salvage. Could not have done this without you guys. This has been really great here for season 1 of the Announcer Booth podcast. Upcoming events tonight: Rapid Speedway runs, Wagner Speedway runs as well. The TNR Contracting late model street stocks that you find at I-90 Speedway and as well as the Husets Speedway on Saturday and Sunday. They are making the trip out to Wagner tonight for a point night here, so for another 3-day weekend for them as well. Murray County Raceway runs tonight as well. Crawford County Speedway down in Denison runs. I-90 runs tomorrow. Miller runs as well. And some great racing action on Sunday. Husets, the new Raceway Park, also Casino Speedway in Watertown. So a lot of stuff happening this weekend. You are not going to want to miss out on it at all. Support your local racetrack and support your local businesses that support local racing. Cannot stress that enough. You know, if it wasn't for a lot of these small businesses, you know, these tracks would not be able to run. And without your support, they wouldn't be able to run either. So go support your local racetrack, your local drivers, and your local businesses that support racing. I want to say a big thank you to all of the guests that have been on the show this season for season 1 of the Announcer Booth podcast. Also a big thank you to 4 Orange Salvage, Rapid Graphics, Sodak iRacing Series, Advantage Racing TV, and AOK Photography and Design. You guys, I could not have done this without you. A big thank you to my good friend Courtney Plow for helping out with the show this season. Also a big thank you to Matthew Broadus, Sean Neested, and Jerry Van Sickle. You guys are great. Also loved having you guys on the show as well. Thank you for helping out with it. And to you, the race fans, you guys are the best. Could not do this without you. We hope to see you back for next season of the Announcer Booth podcast. Until then, take care, and we'll see you at the racetrack.